Only scared people smile.
What the fuck are you doing? What kind of man walks around with a smile on his face 24/7? The reason people do this is to let other people know that they're not a threat. This is because you're scared of and you cannot handle conflict. So you find a way to ensure that you never encounter it.
Firstly, it is not a crime to be filled with whimsy and joy. If you are content in your life and you are not afraid to show that physically, I would say that's the toughest thing a man could do. And not only are there several reasons why somebody would be smiling other than making sure that they're not a threat, but for you to give people advice to just never encounter threats and they won't have to smile ever again is insane. How are we as humans supposed to just avoid threats for the rest of our lives? What kind of advice is that? I'd love to never feel threatened again, but that's not possible. So I can't control what other people do. Oh my God.
In 2040, Mum, how did Dad become a millionaire? And then it just shows a collage of a man pondering at sunset, typing on a laptop, fighting invisible demons, setting up several alarms that he's clearly ignoring, and a single light emanating from an apartment building. None of this is gonna make you a millionaire, bro. You either have to be incredibly smart or incredibly lucky. Exercising and waking up early is not going to do that for you. Those are just healthy habits that all grown adults should have incorporated into their daily routine anyway. You shouldn't just be doing those things for money. You should be doing that because you care about the health of whatever. Your future child isn't gonna be next in line as future CEO in whatever fictional company that you've created in your head because you uploaded corny videos to Instagram Reels for a couple hundred people. That is the least alpha behavior imaginable. Dear girls, one day you'll be comforting your crying son, wanting to destroy the girl that cheated on him, only to realize that you were once that girl. Right, I didn't even want to say it, okay? But men are much more likely to cheat than women are. So let's get that out of the way, shall we? But let me not be petty. Just because you were cheated on doesn't mean that suddenly all girls are the same. Because I'm sorry to break it to you, but that mindset is certainly not going to help you find another girlfriend, buddy. And if you're going to say that this goes both ways in your caption, then why didn't you say dear cheater in the video? If it goes both ways, then include the women being cheated on as well. But you won't because you just want an excuse to be misogynistic. So your husband rejects your food over a little misunderstanding and goes to bed hungry. As a good wife, what will you do?
Right, cut it out. You're gonna make it mad.
I don't give a fuck, Keisha.
If you're gonna act like a child, then I don't give a shit. I've done my job and I've cooked you a meal. If you don't want to eat it and you want to willingly starve yourself, then by all means, be my guest, love. You can go to bed hungry for all I care. Because men who choose to intentionally waste food like a child having a tantrum do not deserve a good woman who will cook food for them. And they certainly aren't alphas. You're a pathetic human being if you do this. That's what you are. Why should I care about you weaponizing your hunger when you could so easily just fix that, dumbass? Women, we carry kids in our nuts our whole lives. Y'all only do it for 9 months. Don't compare us. Exactly! Don't compare us! You may do the absolute bare minimum, but a man's life is never going to be the one that's at risk during the process of pregnancy. Are you aware that women can die while giving birth to the baby? Have you ever thought of the possibility that you might have to deliver the baby through a C-section, which is an enormous incision of the abdomen? Did you know that in some horrific circumstances, the baby can pass away in the mother's womb and she has to wait for a surgical procedure to have the baby removed from her stomach? Only a weak man believes he's tougher than a pregnant woman. If you want to carry an entire human being in your stomach for 9 months on end and have your body change drastically while also dealing with terrible changes in your mental health at the exact same time, then be our guest. Women would absolutely love that.
Do you guys have an open relationship?
No, not an open relationship.
Oh, okay.
She doesn't anybody.
Yeah.
But I can do whatever I want in our relationship. Her theory is what I just said. Like, men are supposed to be building and growing and conquering. And if not, it ties back to what I said of they're getting worse. How many guys do you see that end up in a relationship and then get soft and doughy and trashed?
Yeah.
Most. That's what happens. And so in our house, she comes at it from a very biological standpoint. She has everything she wants. She's got comfort, stability, a great home. I'm never leaving. And on the flip side of that, she knows I'm a guy. That's just how it goes.
Right off the bat, your wife is using you for money. The reason she doesn't care about what you do is because she doesn't actually love you. And the fact that that doesn't compute is actually concerning to me. You are a paycheck to her. So humble yourself. Secondly, you're not an alpha male. You're an irresponsible man-child who clearly peaked in college and can't move on from his glory days spent in filthy frat houses all night. Thirdly, your male ancestors would be absolutely embarrassed and ashamed that you're calling yourself a man. They would slap you into next Sunday if they found out that you were choosing to sleep around and living a promiscuous lifestyle over providing for your family like you should be doing at your grown-ass age. But lastly, and most hilariously, what goddamn building, growing, and conquering do you think that you're doing? All I see is a dickhead sitting on his ass at his PC. I don't see you building a house. I don't see you growing a farm or food or raising any cattle. And I don't see you conquering anything but being a deadbeat father. God, this video is embarrassing. I almost pity you. This is masculine energy in women. Number one, competing with men. If you feel threatened that I'm better than you at something, that is a you problem. Either improve your own skills or shut the hell up. Don't tell me to hold back just to protect your feelings. Cause that's not very masculine, is it? 2, you're loud instead of calm and soft. I don't care! If you can't handle a loud woman, then you're clearly a very fragile man. 3, saying, I don't need a man. What? Are you upset that I can live my life happily without you? Aww, did I hurt your feelings? Oh, are you gonna cry because you can't fathom the thought of a woman living peacefully and happily without a man by her side? But you obviously can't exist peacefully without a woman? 4, you're defensive. Oh, of course. A man doesn't want me to defend myself. What a shocker. Should I be surprised? 5, attracting feminine men. And how the hell is that in my control? So, hang on. Let me get this straight. You want the woman that you're in a relationship with to change her entire identity so that, again, the woman that you're in a relationship with can attract more masculine men? Why would you want that? 6, giving more than you receive. If you want me to be lazy at home all day while you go out and break your back at work, then by all means, be my guest. But y'all don't actually want that, do you? It's hilarious how men will complain if a woman brings more income into the house than them. Is that not a good thing for the both of you? 7, always needing to be right. As if men don't fight tooth and nail to make sure that they're right. I'm sorry, but where do you think the term mansplain even originated from? You just don't want us to argue with you because you know you're wrong. Period. 8, you're independent. This is just getting strange at this point. It sounds to me like you just want a pet who lives under your thumb and that you can control in any which way you want. Girls faking themselves crying when they go through a breakup. And he sits there pretending to cry with a towel on his head so he can act like a woman. Compared to guys faking themselves smiling when they go through breakups. You're just making up situations to be mad at to justify your hate towards women. Not only have surveys been done where men themselves have admitted they move on faster than women do, but you're also a hypocrite because you guys will say that women have too many emotions and we're so emotional. And then you'll go right back ahead and say, women are so heartless. They have no emotions. So which is it? Make up your mind because it can't be both. Dad, can we effing go ride together? Not talking about the bike. Not only is that just a grammatically awful sentence, but Why do you want to be called Dad?
You weird, buddy. You're weird.
When the first drop of tequila grazes my lips, and then he starts being creepy with his goddamn inanimate motorbike, and I have never wanted to run away from a person more in my life. It's just so corny.
I know people are going to hate me for saying this. I don't give a fuck. It's true. Marriages, I truly believe, would last longer if the wife would let the man get some strange every now and then. And he'd stay in shape. And he'd probably work harder. And he'd show up in all kinds of crazy ways for her because he's like, I fucking love this woman. What women don't understand, women think of a man sleeping with another woman and they think younger, they think hotter, all this other stuff. You would be shocked at how far down the totem pole a man would go just to sleep with a different woman. And I know that sounds really, really crazy because women aren't that way.
You should attempt to make your marriage last because you love your wife. You should stay in shape because of your wife. You should work harder for your wife. And you should already be showing up in crazy ways because she's already your wife. You shouldn't need to sleep with several women in order to put some effort into your marriage. And what's crazy is how you think you're acting like an alpha male here, but all you're admitting is that you're willing to sleep with anything. It doesn't matter how far you lower your standards. You will go as low as humanly possible. As long as it's not your wife, you couldn't care less. Shouldn't alpha males want the absolute best for themselves? Do you realize how that makes you sound? You're absolutely disgusting. And you shouldn't be allowed the privilege of even breathing near a woman.
And then this idiot is acting like a beta male by saying, it's okay for my wife to complain. But then the alpha male says, it's better to live in a desert than live with a quarrelsome and nagging wife. Okay, buddy, then just go live in the desert. I don't know what else you want me to say. Clearly you're in your backyard, so you can't even stand on business. You're the beta.
I don't know, there's just something so cringe about intentionally hitting your camera every single time you lift a weight just to show how pumped up you are. Cause it just seems like you're doing it on purpose at that point, not because you actually feel any adrenaline. You're just being annoying to the other members of the gym, man. Nobody, and I mean that, absolutely nobody thinks that you are cool for doing this. Just the circle jerk of you and your friends, that's it. June isn't Pride Month 2024. June is Men's Mental Health Month. Spread men's mental health awareness. Don't spread HIV. At least one girl understands. Some real shit, but just gotta keep it thuggin'. Both can coexist at the same time. We can have Pride Month. We can have Men's Mental Health Month. 2 men take their lives every minute. But sure, happy Pride Month. These two things can coexist at the same time. It doesn't have to be a battle of who's more important. 12% of the LGBTQ youth attempted to unalive themselves last year. The mental health of all young people matters. It's not just one group or that group. It's everybody who matters. Bullying one group of people isn't gonna do you any favors.
Why should I apologize for the monster I have become? No one ever apologized for making me this way. Remember, I'm not heartless. I just learned to use my heart less.
Anyways, guys, can we just be normal? That would be fantastic. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Mwah. I love you all so much, and I'll see you guys in the next video.